Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel once again. For this video I'm going to share the last battle sets over here for the Bengal Ember Cup which I participated in, and this is going to be the last three videos which my opponents are wndLQL, which I suppose I'm calling that, but if I'm wrong do correct me if you're watching this. Apart from it, my other opponents are nuXclear and Tirtharaj D963. So to which my team over here is going to be Hisuian, Qwilfish, Piloswine, Gligar, Poliwrath, alolanmarowak and Electivire, I've mentioned in my previous videos as well, and for the Mumbai Ember Cup also. And this team is quite decent, so which I have come up with. So let's see how this team performed against these three last opponents over here. So that will be all for the introduction. So if you're liking the content onto this channel, do like, share with your friends and subscribe to it, because it's what that keeps me motivated over here. So if I'm like getting this kind of support, I'll be looking forward for more contents onto this channel, again more PvP battle videos also. So without further more delay, let's quickly jump into the first battle over here against wndLQL, to which they are using a team of Hisuian, Qwilfish, Gligar, Galvantula, Surfetched, Piloswine and Poliwrath over here. So in the first lead, they catches my Marowak onto their Piloswine, to which they safe swaps into their own Qwilfish over here. So Qwilfish is quite decent safe swap in this scenario as well, because they have access to Aqua Tail and Shadow Ball over here. So they baited me a Shadow Ball with Aqua Tail over here, which ends up really good for them, because now they will be spamming out this Aqua Tails over here, and I am now forced to shield over here, because they will be now going for the next Aqua Tail that does guarantee the knockout for my Piloswine as well. So Piloswine is not actually a counter to Hisuian, Qwilfish, because once it's a even shield scenario, it's fine, but upper shield, it's quite a disadvantageous matchup, to which now I'll be going for the next avalanche, back-to-back avalanche, that the first one lands and the second one might grab the first shield from my opponent's end, which is the case. And now they can get a hard farm onto my Piloswine over here. That is not a great thing, because they can do neutral damage onto my Poliwrath with high horsepower, which is kind of a very strong move as well. And it does land for massive neutral damage over here. The final Pokemon is going to be a Poliwrath of their own, who is upper shields, but since I am quite healthy as well, so I'll be going for the first dynamic punch that lands. And I tried catching a dynamic punch onto my Marowak over here, so I thought of that a win condition, but I did not like use that swap very successfully. Not very successfully actually, which ends up costing me the game, because they can farm down my Marowak after a Scald, and they have got enough energy loaded onto their dynamic onto their Poliwrath for a dynamic punch that gives them the win for the first battle. So GG's. Moving into the next battle, I pick up a lead against my Qwilfish with their Gligar, to which this is also kind of a decent matchup, because Gligar does get the knockout with back-to-back Aqua Tails over here. And but I have to watch out for the return that might get the one shot for me as well, to which I'll be respecting the return, and they went for the return as well, to which now I'll be not farming, I will not be farming down, because they switched out into their own Poliwrath, to which I went for the next Shadow Ball that lands for massive neutral damage in this scenario, which is going to be cool. But now they'll be going for Scald that takes me out. So from this scenario, they are again upper shield, which is again not a good thing for me, which will be very tough for me to farm this Poliwrath down with my own Poliwrath, and to which now they'll be going for the next dynamic punch. So since I'm down a shield, I'll not be shielding, and I did a CMP die over here, which is absolutely worst case scenario, and I'll be letting this Scald with no bubble, because I can get the farm down after that, to which now I've got a loaded dynamic punch with my Poliwrath, and let's see what the final Pokemon is going to be apart from Gligar. So again they comes back with their Gligar to chip my Poliwrath down with Wing Attack, but I've got total energy and I'll be going for the next call that gets the knockout for it, and the final Pokemon is going to be their Qwilfish of their own, to which I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch that might grab the final shield from them, which it does. And now I save swap again, like swap back again into my Marowak, and I think I could have stayed in that matchup. I could not stay in the matchup because they could farm my Poliwrath down, but I'm not able to reach to back-to-back Aqua Tail, like back-to-back Bone Clubs over here, because they went for back-to-back Aqua Tails and they have got loaded Aqua Tail once again, which will be enough to get the knockout for this Marowak as well, and a very low Poliwrath, which does give them the win for the second battle as well. So GG's. Moving on to the third battle, I pick up a lead, good lead this time with my Poliwrath against their Piloswine, to which now they save swaps into their own Hisuian Qwilfish once again. So I'll be now going for the first Scald that will be guaranteeing the first shield from their end, and I tried to catch one Shadow Ball onto my Qwilfish over here, but that ended up being Aqua Tail, which is not a great thing, because since it was Aqua Tail, they are up energy, so they can't give themselves switch over here. But since I'm having a Marowak with shield advantage, that will not be advantageous for them as well. To which now I'll be going for the next Aqua Tail that puts it very low, but since I am a bit down energy and down health right now, so they will be reaching the next Aqua Tail just in time before I can reach to the next Aqua Tail. So to which now it puts the Qwilfish in quite a good farm down range for my Poliwrath with Mud Shot, which I do, and the final Pokemon is going to be Poliwrath of their own. So now I'm in a reverse situation where they are down a shield and I'm up a shield with a healthy Poliwrath. So this might be the win condition for me, because I'll be going for back-to-back Dynamic Punches over here that will be grabbing the final shield as well from their end, which it does, and it was a same PTI once again, to which I'll be shielding up the next Scald over here, which I thought would be a Dynamic Punch, but they went for a Scald, to which now I'll be next going for Dynamic Punch, which they tried to catch onto their Piloswine that does take super acute damage once again. And from this kind of range, I'll be coming back with my Marowak and get the farm down with fire spins over here, and now I'll be shielding up. This will be a Scald which does super active damage as well, so I'll be shielding this up, and I'll be going for the next Shadow Bone, though with the attack debuff will be giving enough damage to this Poliwrath that gives me the win for the third battle over here. So it ends up being a 1-2 for me, which is I'm happy with, but nevertheless I could have done so better. To which now moving to the next game against nuXclear, who is actually using a team of Charizard, Piloswine, Galvantula, Marowak, Gligar and Poliwrath over here, and I catch a lead onto their own Piloswine over here with my Qwilfish. So Qwilfish does get the first shield from my opponent's end with Aqua Tail, and I tried to get a bit greedy, which ends up costing both the shields from my end, and now I'm in a tough scenario because I will be trying to get this Aqua Tail through, but if they lets it go, this will not KO, but I have to get the farm down, which I do get, which is kind of good from my end. And the final Pokemon, the second Pokemon that they have got access to is going to be Charizard, but Charizard with my Gligar and my Poliwrath in the back will not be a great thing to handle, because as we have already seen, Wing Attack does add up on Poliwrath as well, and Gligar does take so much damage with the Blast Bun also, to which I'll be letting this next Dragon Blast Bun go through, which also does 50% of my health, and the final Pokemon they have got access to is going to be their Poliwrath of their own, to which I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch, which lands because all shields are down, but I tried catching one Dynamic Punch onto my Gligar, which I could not swap out, and they went for the Dynamic Punch that gets me the knockout. And the only winning condition for me is to get Heart Farm onto their Poliwrath, which I don't think will be possible because they'll be going for one Scald. But if they are, since I got the attack debuff right now once again, I could go for the next. I could go for the Heart Farm, which I do get very fortunate with, and I have got loaded Night Slash right now against for this Charizard that gives me the win for the first battle over here against Nux. GG's. Moving on to the next battle, I pick up a really tough lead against their Poliwrath and I safe swap into my own Qwilfish over here. So for Qwilfish, they have got an answer to it, which is going to be their Galvantula, which I was quite terrified with because it does have a really good matchup against my Poliwrath, and I don't have really anything to threat the Galvantula over here, to which I'll be shielding up the first, which ends up being a lunge, which is fine. And now since my attack is dropped, they'll be reaching to the next discharge or maybe lunge once again. So I am desperate to keep switch over here, so that is the reason I shielded up both the lunge over here against this Galv, and the final Pokemon that they have got access to is going to be Poliwrath once again. So this will be very tough for me to handle because my attack is double debuffed, and right now they will be getting a Heart Farm onto my Hisuian Qwilfish over here, which is not a great scenario for me. And I get the shield with the Aqua Tail, but since they have so much loaded energy onto their Poliwrath, so they can go for back-to-back dynamic punches, which does get the knockout for my Poliwrath as well, which is not a great thing because I cannot farm this Poliwrath of my of Nux over here with my Avalanches over here. So they'll be now going for the Scald that will be landing for they went for Dynamic Punch, which lands for so much super active damage, and I'll be able to reach the next Avalanche that does not do any effect on the result outcome because I do get the knockout for Poliwrath, but they have got a full health Piloswine that gets the Power Note down for the second battle and gets the win for them. So GG's. Moving on to the next battle, I pick up a lead against Piloswine once again, to which I'll be threatening this Piloswine with the Shadow Ball over here, to which I go for the Aqua Tail bait. So this is fine. So I shouldn't have shield went for a Shadow Ball energy powered up. So I should have went for the back-to-back Aqua Tails over here, to which I do have to shield up the first Avalanche because that will do so much damage right now, and I do get the first shield from my opponent's end over here, which is going to be nice because this puts the Piloswine into a farm down range with my Marowak over here. And let's see what the second Pokemon they have got access to along with Piloswine. And yeah, I thought that, which is going to be the Poliwrath of their own, and the only win condition for me is to catch Scald onto my own Poliwrath over here, which I fail once again, and the final Pokemon they have got access to is going to be Galvantula, which I was very terrified against my Poliwrath, and that happened already. So the only thing my Poliwrath doesn't want to face is this Galv, and they went for a lunge over here, which I think might be good for me because I can reach to the next next call just in time, which ends up getting the knockout for the Galv over here. And the only thing that they have got access to is going to be the next Poliwrath over here. But since they cannot farm me down, they have to go for the Dynamic Punch, but this Poliwrath is quite healthy. So as you guys can see, this Fire Spin does not do enough damage, and since I've got access to Shadow Bone and not Shadow Ball, this will not do enough damage to get the knockout. Rather, they can get a lot of farm down with Mud Shot and able to reach to the next called before I can reach to the next Bone Club over here that will be giving them the win for the second battle, which ends up again being a 1-2 loss for me. So GG's over here. Moving into the first battle against my last opponent over here, Tirtharaj over in this scenario, I catch a lead onto their Poliwrath, who is actually using Ice Punch. So this is the first opponent that is using Ice Punch as a move onto their Poliwrath, because I have already seen Dynamic Punch and Scald all over the tournament, to which I now cast the next Power Up Punch onto my Poliwrath over here. So both of their moves are revealed right now. So their Poliwrath is not having a good moveset to threat my Poliwrath, which is icy, like Ice Punch and like Power Up Punch, which is not a great thing because I can go for so much neutral damage with this Power Up, like with these dynamic punches over here, and thread the shield as well. So I get the first shield over here with the dynamic punch, and they swaps out into their own Trevenant over here, which is not a great thing because I don't have Ice Punch onto this onto my own like Poliwrath over here, to which now I again, since they swapped out very late, so I'll be switching out into my own Gligar once again, and I'll be going for the next Night Slash. So Night Slash does thread this Trevenant over here, that which lands, and I can get the farm down once again with my Gligar over here with wing attack, and now I'll be going for the next return over here in this scenario because they came back with their Poliwrath and they cannot farm me down. So that is the reason they went for, I think, Icy Wind, not Icy Wind, Ice Punch actually, which gets the knockout for me, and I have got a full health Qwilfish and kind of low Poliwrath over here, to which the final Pokemon that they're using is going to be Incinerate Talonflame over here, to which I'll be going for the next Shadow Ball that will be landing for so much damage, and I catch the next Flame Charge or maybe the Brave Bird onto my Poliwrath over here, which ends up being a Flame Charge. That is fine because now I can come back again, Poison Jab down the Talonflame and get to the next Aqua Tail, but not before they could threat me with one Ice Punch or a Power Up Punch, which is a Power Up Punch, but now I can go for the next Aqua Tail just in time before they can go for the next Power Up Punch over here, which will be buffed, but that will not be the case. I will be getting the win for the first battle as the Aqua Tail does get the knockout for the Piloswine. Moving on to the next battle, I pick up a lead against their Poliwrath, which is actually a good lead because they cannot throw, but I can threaten them with back-to-back dynamic punches over here, which is going to be good because now I'll be letting all these charge moves go through because it will be all Power Up Punches which will be buffing up their attack, but Power Up Punch is not that of a great move onto this Poliwrath over here. So I'll be first going for the Dynamic Punch, which might get the first shield from their end, which does get the first shield from their end, and I'm now I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch once again. So they'll be going for one more Power Up Punch, which is double buffed right now, but since I'm doubling up on energy, I'll be going for back-to-back Dynamic Punches to thread the final shield from my opponent's end and the knockout for them, to which now I did a Stampede over here onto the next Power Up Punch, which will again not knock me out, and I can survive that, and I'll be going for the next Dynamic Punch once again. So this will be threatening the Poliwrath or give me the final shield from their end, which does give the final shield, and they don't have again anything to threat my Marowak as well, because Ice Punch and Power Up Punch both are resisted, though it's triple buffed I believe, but it will not do enough damage, to which now the second Pokemon that they have got access to is a Mudslap Vika Bolt over here in this scenario, which is very spicy, to which I'll be going for the next Shadow Bone, which does get the Vika Volt very low and can get the farm down with Fire Spin, to which again they comes back with their very low Poliwrath. And I suppose the final Pokemon is going to be again the Talonflame over here that gets the farm down for the Marowak, and now I'll be letting the switch clock go down, and I'll be coming back with my own Qwilfish over here, and I did a sick catch onto the Poliwrath over here, which ends up being a Brave Bird, and before they could reach to the next Brave Bird or the next Flame Charge, I'll be going for the first Aqua Tail with the triple debuff defense, gets the knockout for the Talonflame and give me the win for the second battle as well. Moving into the third battle, I pick up a lead against Charizard that is using Dragon Breath and not Wing Attack. So Dragon Breath is not a recommended moveset for this cup, which is fine, but since I land the first Aqua Tail onto this Charizard, I'll be shielding up onto this next Dragon Claw over here, because I am so much up, I have so much health onto my own Qwilfish over here, to which the next Pokemon that they have come back with is going to be the Venusaur over here, which just gets walled by my Marowak because they can throw Frenzy Plant, they can throw Petal Blizzard, they can throw Solar Beam or Sludge Bomb, everything resisted right now. So I do get the first shield from their end with my own Bone Club over here, and I'll be getting the Heart Farm with Fire Spins onto the Venusaur over here, which is really good for me. And the final Pokemon again they have got access to is going to be the Poliwrath. So Poliwrath is a good closure in this scenario, but not with Ice Punch and Power Up Punch. So that ends up being a good thing for me because I'll be now going for one more Aqua Tail bait, which ends up getting me the final shield from my opponent's end. That is going to be good, and I'll be now going for one more Aqua Tail over here because I want to chip this Poliwrath down so that I can come back with my double shielded Gligar over here and wing attack down the Poliwrath, which I think I'll be able to do. But I again catch the next Power Up Punch onto my Gligar once again, but now I can get the Heart Farm. But they tried to catch the next Night Slash onto the onto their very low Charizard, which they failed, and I'll be able to reach the next Night Slash. Though resisted, will be enough to get the knockout for the Poliwrath and giving me the win for the final battle. So that ended up being a 3-0, which is really good for me. But the final score points was 3 for me because I lost 2 battles. So that will be all for this video, and see you again in the next one. Till then, peace.